Hello and welcome. My name is Felmore, and this race will be full of slipping, crashing, overtakes, and the chaos ensues as the rain catches people with the wrong tires midway through the race and towards the end. For the survivors of the race, it's going to be a wet ride. The race will be held at Nürburgring Endurance with 7 laps. I'll be starting with hard tires, which will obviously have to be changed, and with VR it's going to make it hard to see when other people are pitting, so it should be interesting. Timestamps will be in the description for any major points to go check out. My qualifying wasn't great as I received a 3-second penalty coming out of the pit, which cancelled that lap. The rain lap I received put me in 12th to start the race. Right off the bat with some light contact on the first corner between Jenny and Casella, but it looks like there's actually more contact occurring in the same corner behind us. Looks like Diego Luna is ghosted as Buffalo Adam tries to capitalize. A little contact by Toy Tech on the left, but making our way down to the next corners, we're going to go wide, trying to gain a couple positions and being safe. This race has a good mix of cars with the Aston Martin to the Volkswagen to the Nissan. I'm driving the Supra. Looks like Jay Fig up ahead received a 2-second penalty. Things are looking good so far for us. This race we will have to pit multiple times. We're going to have to worry about weather, so it's not a race, it's a marathon, but 7 laps of a race. As we finish the sprint layout, we're going to go check on the leaders. We got GKR, we're going to call him Hannah for the rest of the day. He's going to catch up to the front 3. A little bit of contact on the JQ, which is going to allow a Porsche to sneak by Nevs. He's going to claim the position, but again, unfortunately, Hannah's going to lose potentially another position here, slowing down after that accident, but coming down that tight stretch actually clips the McLaren. Hard spot to overtake, and he's going to lose another position to SS454. Buffalo Adam behind all the action before, looking to capitalize on a few of the mistakes, but almost has a little bit of a mistake himself as he comes into the corner here and almost loses it clipping the grass. Checking in with Casella up ahead, you're going to see him late brake behind Jenny, try to save himself, but unfortunately goes a little bit wide into the sand with a light tap. I'm going to pass through him, and now we're going to enter a drag race. Coming to the first corner, got to be careful as you actually have to brake more than you expect. Need to coast through the corner, and then Cassell is going to have an unfortunate mistake. They're going to slip a little bit and then get in front of the cars behind, giving me a little bit less pressure. And then we have Diego Luna unfortunately making a mistake there where we have Riser here looking to gain 2 positions as Scandalous Socks is slipping off to the left. Up front we have a close call with JQ. This will be some tight racing for the next couple corners as we skip ahead to the carousel. Nev's coming in, looking good, but almost loses it where I lost it. Almost proves to be challenging. A little bit of slippage, backs off, and JQ gets an advantage there. Checking in with myself, I gain a position with USR, going a little bit to the left on the grass patch. I sneak behind Buffalo Adam. So we all head into the carousel. We're gonna single file for now. There's a little bit of late braking on Buffalo Adam. He almost went into the wall, but Casella and myself almost synchronized crashes. I actually end up crashing into the barrier. As I witness everybody driving by, you can see a bit of moisture's coming in, so we're going to keep an eye on that. I am almost dead last, 14th, and I'm now frustrated as I haven't made that mistake before. But soon after, I actually regain 13th position as Scandalous Socks goes a little bit wide. Checking behind us, Valpez crashes into the wall. He's rocking intermediate tires and he just evaporates himself. We have a lead change up ahead between Neves and JQ on the straight. Porsche got great exit speed, it looks. We're We're gonna have Jenny get overtaken by SS454 on the left side in his Supra. Austin's looking like he had a bad exit, and we're gonna have a penalty served here. J-Fig looking to serve those 2 seconds he received at the start of the race, dropping down 2 positions into 9th as Costella overtakes him on the straight. Diego Luna, myself, coming down into the straight. It's hot on my tail, but fortunately he pits. Seeing the weather that I saw earlier, I don't, as I'll be rocking the hards for another lap. I have a very close call on myself again, but this time a little bit of control on that slide. Meanwhile, Jenny up ahead is also having a little bit of a mistake themselves, going a little bit wide, but doesn't cost them too much. Hopefully they can truck on from there, but catching up to Buffalo Adam and SS454 is in sight. As you can see on my map, we've got some moisture, and the first confirmation of it will be the wiper blades. They don't last too long, but pitting definitely is in my mind on the next lap. J-Fig capitalizing on Jenny's mistake as they crash into the barrier. He's going to have his own mistake soon by carrying a little bit too much speed entering into the village. He's got some competition behind him, so that will definitely keep the pressure up. Looking like Jenny just went a little bit too hot into that and slammed into the wall. Riser looking to capitalize on Toy Tech's slip up here, coming into the right side. Actually gains the position. John is the first casualty of the rain as it started to pour. Moisture meter is already halfway as Jenny passes him. Moving over to my first rain mistake, you're going to see myself catch a little bit of grass on the right side, sliding into the wall, carrying into the next patch of grass. Can already get worse than it is, but we regain our composure. Up ahead, we have Buffalo Adam and SS454 battling. It's difficult. You can see traction control going crazy. Buffalo Adam doesn't keep his position for too long. So he's going to go a little bit wide coming into this corner. You can already see mistakes mounting up ahead too. First and second are having issues themselves. JQ slamming into the wall, touching a little bit of grass, almost losing it here. But up ahead, as you can see, Nevs slides into the wall. He's trying to recover. Gaining first, JQ slides a little bit wide here. So it's not like he gained a lot. Looking at Nevs here, he's going to clip the curb and just kind of go a little bit into the barrier. We're going to see JQ just sneak by him. Nevs unfortunately loses a little bit of grip as JQ almost loses it himself. But he slams into the wall and does a 360. Keeps second, but this is going to be a dangerous trek down the straight. Hannah Beauty behind them also slides into the same spot JQ slammed into. He's struggling and now he's got a pack of cars behind him. Checking quickly with everybody behind us, you're going to see J-Fig and SS454. They're going to be slipping around a tiny bit. Too bad. They recover. Final corners coming into the straight, you will see Buffalo Adam. Right patch of grass. We're going to get Toy Tech potentially going to take his position and nope. Hits the wall due to touching a little bit of grass there. JQ already getting on the lap 2, slams into the wall just before the pit, allowing Nevs to catch up behind him. Now they're going to have to pit. There's no way they don't. Nevs is looking to gain first on this, but backs off. Then we have behind them Casella looking to maybe pit, slipping around, but decides not to. This will be his downfall. Mid-pack's now entering the final corner before the pit. You're going to see a good split of vehicles decide to pit and not. This is where a lot is being gambled, and you'll see later. Right after skipping the pit, you're going to see Casella sliding through the first corner. And you can see also Tech Toy receiving a 3-second penalty going over the line there. This is gonna get fun. Swapping to intermediates myself, I actually go through the corner. Nothing too bad, just a little bit hot. Alright, let's move on. Still amazed that Carousel hasn't wiped out, as you can see, literally going sideways at some points with his V-dub, but we'll tune into him later. Riser unfortunately gets tapped from behind with JQ. Looked like a little bit of leg may have contributed to that. Catches some grass and falling a couple positions. Didn't drop too far. JQ gaining a position on Buffalo Adam as he late break slides out of that corner, catching up to J-Fig and Carousel. We've got a little bit of slip on JQ. J-Fig on the left side, leaving a little bit of room for the overtake. And successfully taking position. Almost loses it with a bit of a wide turn here, going into the grass, with J-Fig catching right back up to him. Slight contact as JQ slips here, entering the village. We're going to move to a group behind us entering the village, as Tech Toy's going to gain a position on Hannah as they go a little bit into the grass on the right side. Nevs is going to gain quite a bit on this next section, passing Buffalo Adam as he was sliding on that corner back there. We've got Carousel, JQ, and J-Fig all ahead. They're all going to make contact with that right wall as Nevs slips by, makes contact with Carousel, unfortunately, as we see JQ sliding due to some contact as well. Nevs swings out to the right side, sticks to his guns on the drag race, and actually gains first position here. Behind the front pack, we're going to have a penalty given to Jenny and Tech Toy as they pass John on the outside, where JQ made his error. Up ahead, Jenny 3 seconds, now 6 seconds for Tech Toy. Rejoining back with Carousel, we're going to lose a position after crashing into the barrier with J-Fig taking second. Then coming down to the corner just before the carousel can be tricky, as a lot of people will slide into this today. And I'm going to lose a position further. Riser as he slides a little bit coming out of the corner. Toy Tech and Jenny coming down a straight here, with Hannah trying to gain a position, trying to stay safe, but goes a little bit wide and touches some grass there. Jenny's gonna stay ahead with Toy Tech reclaiming position. We're gonna come into the same corner we just saw Carousel come through. Let's see how it goes for these guys. Jenny and Toy Tech went a little bit wide. Jenny's sliding, kinda seeming to survive, as we're gonna head down into the carousel here. We're unfortunately gonna see Hannah tap Toy Tech, sending him wide, and we get tapped behind by John, falling a couple positions. It's always a fun ride on the carousel, isn't it? SS454 catching up to the group ahead of him to only slide and actually crash into the barrier, where we saw Carousel having issues with JQ drifting past him. Now we have JQ looking to make a move on John. We just get the pass with the yellow flag being passed out. John's gonna have to back off. We've got Hannah just behind him. They're all capitalizing on J-Fig's wipeout. But that doesn't stop for Hannah, as Hannah takes the outside on John, gains the position. Checking into J-Fig's issue, he actually clipped some grass and crashed into the wall, falling from second position. It's a mighty fall. Carousel looking to take a position on Riser as he goes a little bit onto the grass there, taking second. Behind them, we got JQ looking to take a position on Toy Tech, but ends up rear-ending him. We've got Jenny and Toy Tech both looking to serve long penalties. JQ should capitalize. With Hannah ghosting through Jenny, make quick work of those two. Almost catches up to JQ on the straight. Jenny coming in on the fourth lap onto the first corner, slips past Hannah. JQ almost loses it, but manages to keep it in line. To soon have JQ go wide, and then we'll have Jenny take the position on the inside just before the straight, finishing the sprint layout. Got myself going through my settings, changing my braking bias, coming into the 4th lap. It's raining. Don't have to worry about fuel or tires this lap. And I've confirmed that rain's not stopping. Do better on this corner. Good execution, as it looks like I am actually catching up to somebody. As Diego Luna tries to pit, slides and crashes into the barrier. Poor soul. We're going to see SS454 almost go horizontal into the barrier, losing a position to Riser. So we have Casella actually taking first, getting a good exit coming out of the carousel. Going to get a right pass here on Nevs as he flips the grass on the left hand side, slowing down. We have myself and Tactoy as he goes wide behind me, relieving some of the pressure. This section still being the hardest part with the rain. Casella's sliding around with Nevs looking to take position. Backs off, trying to survive. We got Jenny also in the village, coming up to the same corner, but unfortunately gets a position loss with JQ sneaking up on the inside. With another overtake happening where Riser's going to take position on John coming out of the village. A little bit of slippage there, but definitely faster. Checking in with Jenny. Gonna have a little bit of a mistake going into the barrier, going a little bit wide. It's slippery. You can see the moisture meter was 50%. Loses 2 positions, unfortunately. And then we also have Riser, who gained the position, losing his 2 positions with SS454 trying to drag race John down the straight. Gains position, and with Riser, he's going to slip, unfortunately, into the barrier as he tries to recover. He's rocking hards. This is where Cassell is going to almost go horizontal into the barrier. He's able to recover, and then keeps sliding around on the grass. And we're going to have a position change due to this with the JQ zooming past him. Another position change with Hannah taking position as well. It's going to be a struggle past this point as the rain makes it really hard on hard tires. We're going to have another position take with Jenny. Now Jenny doesn't get to steal this position for too long. It's coming down into the corner before the carousel. We're going to have a bit of a slide. It's going to cost Jenny a couple positions as SS gains position there. Buffalo Adam's going to capitalize on the spin out from John. Then we're going to come up to where Jenny slid up ahead, because that's not too far along. Going to get through the corner with Casella being slow and slipping. Buffalo Adam has a great exit coming into the carousel. I capitalize on Razor's issue from before. Still sitting there. Boarding John's wipeout here. He's actually going to do almost 2 360s. We're also going to capitalize on the John error as we sneak by towards the carousel. As Jenny tries to survive on the hard tires, catching up to 6th, just sliding, does a 360 with myself sneaking up on the right side, gaining a position. But Jenny coming up to hill goes downhill in the sense of spinning out, crashing into the barrier. Also up ahead, I get another position on Casella as they're slipping around, so I take the inside knowing I got the grip, but the map's not saying there's anything but rain right now. Buffalo Adam and SS454 are gonna joust for the next little bit, with Buffalo Adam taking 4th position as SS goes a little bit wide there. Doesn't take too long for Buffalo Adam to make the mistake as he did before. He'll go wide into the gravel here. SS4 will take position. Then we're going to have Buffalo Adam retake position, coming down into the straight, almost potentially losing it, touching the grass. It's a good exit speed. Sticks to the inside. It's not over yet, with SS potentially winning a drag race. Knowing that this is a marathon, he backs off. All aboard Casella, as they are about to perform the act of not one, not two, but almost three 360s. Now, they're not the only one. Jenny entering the straight with 1.5 seconds to serve. You can see the moisture meter is almost to wet while running racing hards. You're about to guess what happens next, as just before the penalty zone starts losing control and does their own acrobatics. Almost 4 360s. Almost. And behind him, we're going to have John, who's also on racing hard, struggling. The rain is too much at the moment for these racing hard tires. And as he comes up into the pit, he's going to unfortunately slam into the wall, adding to his frustration, I'm sure. But to add further to his frustration, we're going to go ahead and try to get into the pit lane. Struggling to get any traction right now. Flip a little bit of dirt, and you can see where this is going. Into the pit barrier. That sucks. Toy Tech's going to show us a new driving line up ahead here. Coming up into the pits himself. Slips a little bit. Does a 360. He continues on as if nothing ever happened. Up ahead, fighting for second. JQ almost losing it with Hannah behind him. You can see the weather is definitely more on the wet side. Hannah braking, tapping JQ tiny bit into the barrier. They're going to come out of the village with Hannah a little bit safe. You're going to see JQ sliding all over the place. Unless he's going to lose second coming down this straight. Coming up into the right side, JQ backs off. We're going to have JQ continue the struggle. Hitting the barrier, losing a position to Buffalo Adam. Running aboard myself, make a mistake and I go wide, but it's not terrible. My race is pretty uneventful other than a couple mistakes and my carousel crash at the start, but I am 7th and also on fresh tires, and I've got enough fuel to last the rest of the race. So at this stage, I think it's just keep consistent. With Hannah going a little bit wide before the straight, we got JQ capitalizing on that mistake. Takes the inside on the semi-carousel. It's a good setup coming into the straight, and you can see second up ahead. But unfortunately, when he pits, he's going to receive a 3-second penalty and going horizontal into the barrier here. Just lost 2 positions with JFig and SS454 slipping by him. Now, you'll see we're running racing hard tires as well. And this will definitely cost him on this corner. A few corners later, he goes a little bit hard and slides. Doesn't go quite into the barrier. It allows me to catch up. Finally, coming up on JQ, I gain the 6th position as he goes into the gravel on the right side. Now we enter the real course. Almost thrown away my race. Up ahead, coming over the hill. I'm going to have to lift the gas as I slide to the wet portion of the track. It's going to allow him to catch up. So we're going to have to enter a drag race. And he's going to keep the pressure on. Coming out of the village, JQ has an opportunity to get behind me. Slips a little bit. So he's not going to have the speed for the win of this drag race. He swings to the outside, trying to find something. Loses a little bit of speed at that apex, only to unfortunately crash into the barrier. This should allow me some space, reduced pressure, and coming onto the straights should solidify my 6th position. Diego Luna loses on the corner I lost it on when being chased by JQ. He actually slams into the barrier and almost does a 180 but recovers. Casella behind us crashes into the barrier. Nobody's behind them to potentially sneak up the position, but this is just before the straight. Monsoon comes through as he's coming down the straight. This won't affect him now, but coming over the hill, we're going to clip the curb and almost lose it. Thankfully we don't. Get some grass. This will unfortunately set him up to crash into the barrier up ahead, but this is not the worst of this section. Trying to recover here, receiving some damage. He's back onto the road, only to, you guessed it, crash into the pit as he slides and T-bones the pit lane. That's 3, I think, today. Those poor souls. Catching up with Diego Luna. You can see the monsoon affecting their race, causing the moisture meter to go off the charts. Stuck with racing hard. I don't think people expected this. We're going to have a position overtake with Jenny going in the 9th. Then into the barrier and then the straight again, unfortunately. Doing a 360 here. His issue was when serving the penalty, the game auto brakes for you, and that's what made him lose control. Checking out from another angle, you can see he tries to recover, almost does, and then commits to the 360. Almost gets away with it, but he's going to have to head to the pit lanes or attempt this final lap on the hard tires, but he's going to eventually get caught up here. Coming to the section where JQ had issues earlier. Rain is definitely pouring here. As John's coming over the hill, he's looking to capitalize on the mistakes. Coming onto the outside, he's sticking into the wet lane, so he's obviously on some better tires. Now looking to survive towards the pit lane. You're gonna enter the last corner into the barrier. Ah, darn. Hannah goes wide here, giving up 2nd position to Buffalo Adam. Recovers, nothing too big. Buffalo Adam is struggling in the village here as the monsoon is ripping through. As I stated earlier, I find the next section the hardest with the rain. The moisture meter clips all the way into wet just before he hits the wall, so definitely struggling with Hannah right behind him, so any mistake will potentially dethrone him from 2nd. Survives the hill up into the stretch with Hannah behind him, not clipping the barrier. Definitely seen the remnants of Buffalo Adam. He doesn't really struggle coming out of the village. Hopefully he can gain something. Buffalo Adam then gets almost launched out of the carousel. Almost loses it where I lost it on the first lap. So definitely affecting everybody, and the moisture meter is literally in the wet. Wet running would be difficult to predict, but myself coming into the carousel, we'll see if we can shake the demons from earlier, making through the corner safely. As you can see, the map is just polluted with pockets of heavy rain. Nobody looks to be behind me right now. I think this is my perfect carousel execution for the day. So a success. Not all is done with Buffalo Adam as he's looking to keep his position. Making a minor mistake here. Thankfully doesn't cost him as he slams into the barrier. He's in the slower section, so coming into the acceleration zone, You can see the moisture is just under the wet level. This race was definitely interesting. 7 laps in the wet conditions of the Nürburgring as I clipped the wall on the final corner up into the finishing line. Coming from near dead last to 6th position, I'm going to walk off with 1 race. So that's all I'll have for today here. Being 1 minute, 17 seconds behind leader. And that will net me a total of potentially 127 points. Better than my last few weeks. So, finishing strong. The next race is at Sardinia, which I actually feel quite comfortable in, so it should be a fun race. Until then, I'll see you on the track.